Once upon a time, in the heart of a dense forest, there was a small village where life was simple and the villagers lived peacefully. The towering trees seemed to protect the village and the people felt safe. But one dark autumn night, strange things began to happen. At first, it was just eerie noises, whispers on the wind, soft creaks in the trees. The villagers dismissed it, thinking it was nothing more than the forest's usual sounds. But soon, things took a darker turn. People began to disappear. A farmer vanished on his way home. A child playing near the woods didn't come back. Fear gripped the village like an icy hand. The villagers tried everything. They bolted their doors, barred their windows, and stayed inside after sunset. But the disappearances continued. Every morning, a new face was missing, and their belongings were left untouched, as if they had simply vanished into thin air. One cold night, a group of brave villagers decided to investigate. Armed with lanterns and whatever weapons they could find, they ventured into the forest. The deeper they went, the darker and colder it became. The trees seemed to whisper secrets, their branches clawing at the sky. Then they found it, a decaying old house hidden among the trees. The house looked like it had been abandoned for centuries. Its wooden walls were covered in moss and vines, and its windows were shattered. Despite the decay, there was something wrong about it. The air around it felt heavy, as if unseen eyes were watching. "We should leave," whispered one of the villagers, his voice trembling. But the others insisted on searching the house. They stepped inside, their lanterns casting flickering shadows on the cracked walls. The house was eerily quiet, except for the sound of their footsteps echoing through the empty rooms. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind them. They rushed back to the door, but no matter how hard they pulled, it wouldn't budge. Panic began to set in. And then, the whispers started. At first, they were faint, almost like the rustle of leaves. But soon, the whispers grew louder, echoing around the room. The villagers spun around, searching for the source of the voices, but they were alone, or so they thought. Out of the shadows, ghostly figures began to appear. These were not ordinary spirits. Their faces were pale, their eyes hollow, and their mouths twisted in silent screams. The villagers realized, too late, that these were the missing villagers. They hadn't disappeared. They had been taken. The spirits surrounded them, their ghostly forms closing in. The villagers tried to run, but the house seemed to stretch endlessly, leading them deeper into its twisted halls. One by one, they vanished, their screams echoing into silence. The next morning, the village was eerily quiet. The group had not returned, and no one dared to search for them. Over time, the remaining villagers packed their belongings and left, abandoning their homes and their once peaceful lives. Years later, the story of the haunted village became a legend. Some said it was cursed, built on a place where terrible rituals had been performed long ago. Others claimed the forest itself was alive, feeding on the souls of the lost. Despite the warnings, thrill seekers and explorers couldn't resist the temptation to visit the village. They came in search of adventure, eager to prove the legends wrong, but none ever returned. Now, the forest has reclaimed the village. Trees grow through the roofs of crumbling houses, and vines choke the streets. The old abandoned house still stands, its windows dark and empty. If you dare to visit at night, you might hear the whispers of the lost and see pale faces watching you from the shadows. But be warned, once you enter, you may never leave. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.